everyone, and welcome to Game Week 2 in my series Match of the Delay, sponsored by Fanatical. This is the series where 20 of your favourite Football Manager content creators will compete in a Premier League style tournament to see who has the best tactical mind. Last week we had our first round of fixtures which threw up some interesting results, and Jake Cooper's Fulham currently sit at the top of the table. In today's episode, I am joined by a man who I'm told eats his biscuits upside down in PokesFM, and one of the men who has the voice of an angel from our commentary team last week. It's Steak Bake. Gents, welcome to the show.
Pleasure to be here, buddy. Thanks for inviting us.
It's an absolute joy.
And I have to ask, Pokes, what's with this eating biscuits upside down malark?
Look, we've got a lot to get through today, but all to say, it's not upside down, it's the right way up. Chocolate digestive, chocolate on the bottom, biscuit on the top. Move on.
Blasphemy. Let us know what you think down in the comments. After suffering defeat in game week number 1 to Omega Luke's Liverpool, things didn't get any easier for TonyJameson and Manchester City today. He is taking on Dodgee Gamer's Arsenal in game week 2, and this one is commentated by Sore Loser.
Football titans Arsenal and Manchester City come face to face in game week 2. Dodgee Gamer's Arsenal taking on TonyJameson's Manchester City at the Emirates. Dodgee Gamer's Arsenal will be looking for consecutive wins after beating Southampton last week. Their formation has changed from a 4-3-3 to a more attacking 4-2-3-1. Partey's been replaced by Marino. Gabriel Jesus scored 2 last week, facing his former club. And it was a nightmare start for opposition TonyJameson's Manchester City last week, a 5-1 loss on the opening day of the season. They've also changed their formation from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1. Ruben Diaz replacing Ake, Foden and Gundogan both dropped for Grealish and Kovacic, with De Bruyne moving to his natural cam position.
Alright, so it's match week 2. Dodgee Gamer here taking charge of Arsenal, and we've got a tough game today away to Manchester City.
We can't go 0-2. It's just not a thing. It's not acceptable.
Floated ball into the back post. Tierney and White struggle to clear it with any conviction. Gvardiol, second chance, floated ball again. Haaland's there.
There's Haaland. Back post. 6 minutes played. And after last week's performance, we will absolutely take that.
I blame the TV camera angle. That's what did it for us.
Spread wide nicely here. Odegaard finds Tierney on the overlap into Gabriel Jesus. 1-on-1.
Gabriel
It
Jesus.
is an equalising
1-1.
goal for Gabriel Jesus against his former club. Down the right-hand side now. Is there going to be an overlap from Walker? He goes on his own.
Reads the game
He's going to put it into the box.
And
De Bruyne.
Man City are going to score. I knew it.
Haaland's taking a knock. That could be a big blow.
But Manchester City push forward. Haaland looks like he's picked up a knock, but finds Walker on the right-hand side into the box.
Walker
and
goes
Sterling
down.
puts the foot in.
Hang on.
Give
Are we going to get a
Walker
penalty?
card there. That was a clear dive, clear as
Pull the
day.
VAR. Pull the VAR.
If this one's given, I will not be happy.
He's gone in hard.
I'm
It
not
is.
happy. Ball was taken, and then Walker fell.
Haaland makes it 3. Now we're talking.
That is a travesty.
Saliba finds Martinelli tight inside to Vieira, who is crowded out by 5 Manchester City shirts. But Tierney picks it up on the left. First time into Gabriel Jesus.
Gabriel Jesus with the goal. We've got one back. The comeback is on.
3-2. Man City get a victory. That's what we need. After last week's performance, that's what we need.
It looks like the clock's going to run down, and it's going to be a win for TonyJameson, unfortunately, on this match day, 3-2.
So that is TonyJameson's Manchester City team picking up a very valuable 3 points today after a very good first half display. Steak, how important was it for Tony to bounce back with a win after defeat last week?
Yeah, absolutely hugely important for Tony to get those 3 points on the board. Being Manchester City, you expect him to pick up points consistently week by week, but to lose 5-1 in the opening weeks to Liverpool definitely is going to dent his team's hopes. But if you're going to lose, probably best to do it in week 1. You've got 37 chances to make amends after that. But yeah, it was a decent display from Manchester City. Really good game. Both teams really going for it. And yeah, Manchester City ultimately coming out on top after what I would say probably a really dodgy penalty.
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you, Pokes. Obviously, Walker fouled by Sterling there, and I'm going to say fouled by Sterling because I think this was a pretty soft penalty for Tony to get.
Yeah, I think, he was... It's fortunate, these decisions come and go your way. You've just got to roll with whatever comes your way. And we're only game week 2, so there's no point getting all heads up about it and you lose a penalty like that. You've just got to face the reality of it and move on from there. So hopefully you'll, both teams, move forward from this. Decisions come, decisions go. Get over it, move on. Stop crying about it. Okay, that's my advice.
I love it. And to be honest, there were some really nice goals in this one from both teams. And obviously, this is going to be two teams that you would expect are going to be up there towards the end of the season. And hopefully, fixture-wise, things get a little bit easier for Tony as we move forward. Next, we head over to the London Stadium as bottom of the table, West Ham face the juggernaut. That is Omega Luke's Liverpool side, where we all pray for Kempi. Our commentator here was United City FM.
Game week 2, and it's Liverpool led by Omega Luke versus West Ham led by Kempi. Liverpool go in with a 4-4-2, Jota and Salah up front. Is that going to be a physical enough striking lineup to get them the goals? We shall find out. Ultimately, West Ham go with a back three to try and counter that. The question for them is, can they get out from the back, get down to the Liverpool goal and create their own chances? Time will tell. Let's see.
Match number 2. We've got West Ham and Kempi.
Right, it's time for game week 2. And after last week, we need massive improvements. Now, of course, today, we're up against Liverpool. And this Liverpool side that Omega Luke's got right here beat Manchester City 5-1.
16 minutes in, Van Dijk on the halfway line drives forward, puts the ball over the top on the left-hand side, but it's intercepted by Wan-Bissaka and hooked clear. It goes back up to the halfway line, though. Van Dijk with the ball again, drives into that space. Ball over the top for Szoboszlai on the right-hand side, into the near post, and Salah is there to hook home. He gets in front of the defence.
But he deserved the goal, and he's got one now within 16 minutes. And it's that man, Szoboszlai, again.
That's not ideal. I've praised him. I didn't mean to click praise, ref.
Throw in down the right-hand side, Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool. McAllister plays 1-2 with Alexander-Arnold. He gets the ball into the box. Jota jinks away from a defender, puts the ball onto his left-hand side.
Boys, this is absolutely abysmal.
Konate with a free kick just inside the West Ham half. Still in the first half here, McAllister, Endo getting involved in the play. Diaz drops in to help out. He travels along the top of the penalty box. Gets intercepted, but Liverpool get the ball back again. And that's an amazing shot from McAllister. Driven low from about 20 yards out, outside the box.
I might make friends in that corner because it seems like I'm going to be there a lot this season. Because apparently we just get absolutely battered everywhere we go.
Oh, I love this team.
And it's half time! Come on. Oh, Jesus. Right. I'm lobbing a water bottle. This, mate. Dash. Have that. That was at your heads, lads. Yeah, lose confidence.
Very happy with this. How do I say, don't stop now?
I'd fully take 3-0. 3-0 was a great result, lads.
We're all good. 3 points is on the board again. 3 goals scored. No conceded. Very happy with that win.
Omega Luke, fair play. I saved the clip from last week to mock you this week because I was going to win this game. I was going to play this down the mic.
This thing. Match of the delay. Omega Luke is here to win it.
I mean, I was going to play that after I beat you 2-1 or 1-0. But you beat me 3-0.
So that is another impressive win on the board for Omega Luke and Liverpool as he continues his unbeaten start to the season. But Pokes, my question for you, are the lack of goals going to start to be a worry for Kempi? Obviously, he's played 2 at this point. He's not scored, and he's shipped 8 goals at the other end now.
Yeah, in PvP, you want to be on top of things as quickly as you can. You want your players to gel. You want that team to work effectively, really as quickly as you can, because you don't have as much time as you normally would in a single player mode. So he is going to be feeling the pressure. A sea of 6.2s, 6.3s in that game. So I fear for him. That is a lot of goals to concede, and obviously very few, 0 goals to score. So I'm concerned for him, to say the least.
But Steak, I've got to ask you a question on Kempi's attire and what he's actually wearing to the game, because I definitely think he is probably the best dressed manager in this series so far.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going for it, and I do respect that. But you can't turn up dressed in a suit like that, dressed in your club colours, dressed like a football manager, and then turn up with displays like that. He needs to turn it around. If he's ready, he's suited and booted. But is his team? I don't think it is right now. It's a worry.
So this is not necessarily a game that you would see feature high up on the running order of a normal episode of Match of the Day, but today we have Llama's Leicester City taking on Leemo's Bournemouth, and believe me, this is an absolute barnstormer. Commentating on this one for us today was How We Roll Owen.
Hello, welcome to Game Week 2 here at Match of the Delay. We're here in the King Power Stadium where we welcome back Premier League football for the first time this season. Llama's Leicester City walk in here full of confidence, having held Champions League bound Aston Villa to a 1-1 draw in Villa Park last week. On the other hand, Leemo's Bournemouth side coming here licking their wounds after a 4-1 pasting at home at the hands of Tottenham Hotspur. Llama's Leicester Foxes are led by their very own captain extraordinaire, Jamie Vardy. Already a Premier League legend in his own right, Vardy will be leading the line in a fairly standard 4-2-3-1. In the away end, Leemo and his Bournemouth side will come out in a compact traditional 4-4-2. Leemo, a man tradition, has used this 4-4-2 with great success in the past. Call is going to look for Pereira. He's going to take on Tavernier here down the right. Has him beaten, but Tavernier presses, wins the ball back, settles it down, plays the ball back to Neto. Neto's going to look for a pass. He pumps into midfield. Leicester win it, but Neto on the ball. He cuts inside, trying to find a pass. Plays the ball over top to Mavidi, who can't win it. Sinistera comes away for Bournemouth. Lewis Cook plays in Unal. Evan Nielsen's in behind. His pace is beaten the offside trap.
Can he finish?
Shoots off the post. 1-0 Bournemouth.
What a strike from Evan Nielsen. 4 minutes in.
The fans are cheering everything for Bournemouth, and the Leicester fans are booing the lack of pressing from their team. Unal has the ball, finds Evan Nielsen. Sinistera is an acres of space here. He's going to drive into the box. Two Leicester players there. Back post, Unal. It's 2-0 inside 7 minutes. Leicester make it too easy. No pressure at all from the goal kick.
All right, 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals. Started brilliantly.
This is what it's about. This is what it's about. Made those tweaks from the first game.
Plays a beautiful ball outside his foot to Pereira. Finds Vardy open on the right hand side. He's going to drive towards the end line. Takes on his man. Cuts into the box. Pulls it back. Mavidi 2-1. The poor pass, but Winks wins it back. Oh, and he loses it. Sinistera to Unal, who loses again. Mavidi is very broken up. Vardy has a chance 1-on-1. Oh, it's a last second block, and it's a corner. Goes into the feet of Evan Nielsen, goes back to Billing, finds Sinistera. He's into the box, cuts to the front post. Unal with another.
Come on. 3-1. That's where we've got to be clinical, and that's where we've got to be.
Tamara in the centre. They're looking for runners here. Fatawa plays the ball, but it's cut out easily by Sensei. He finds Unal. Ball over the top for Evan Nielsen. His pace is beating the defence. Oh, it's a delicious chip over the keeper.
What a finish. What an assist. What a strike partnership.
Corner routine. Tavernier plays in. It's cleared to Billing at the edge of the box. Nobody comes to pressure him. And he picks a spot in the far corner. That's 5-1. 83 minutes gone.
What you need after a 1-1 draw on the opening day, is it? I'm subbing the goalie off. Just so he has the humiliation of just walking off in front of his own fans.
Emphatic away win for Bournemouth. It's Leicester 1, Bournemouth 5. I mean, what can we say about that? That is a performance.
So that was a very impressive performance from Leemo's Bournemouth side there, obviously bouncing back after defeat against Tottenham last week. But Stake, it was the high line of Leicester that was the biggest problem for Llama today.
Yeah, a little bit of a tactical mishap from Leicester, unfortunately. Being new boys to the Premier League, they've tried to play a certain way with their high line, which is a confident way of playing, and it's just not worked for them this week. The ball's over the top from Bournemouth in their quick counter-attacks were really punishing to Leicester, and even Ilson getting in behind. He's the type of striker that likes to sit on the last defender, get in behind them, and he finished his chances really well. So just a bit of an error there from Llama, but really well played from Leemo's Bournemouth side, who capitalised on every opportunity they were given.
And Pokes, I believe you have a little message for our unfortunate losing manager Llama today.
Well, of course, it's got to be embarrassing losing 5-1, but nothing can be more embarrassing than losing to me in PvP. I haven't beaten many people in my life at PvP, but I've beaten Llama, so this is probably an appropriate time to remind him of that. So things are worse than this 5-1 loss for him. Hopefully he can improve in the rest of the season.
I'm sure he will appreciate that, and I'm sure he will bounce back moving forward. So next we travel to the south coast to see TomFM Southampton take on set piece king Mckins and his Brentford side. This one was watched for us by Ramster.
Welcome to the St Mary's Stadium, where TomFM Southampton welcome Mckins Brentford. Both sides had contrasting fortunes in game week 1, with Southampton going down bravely to Arsenal, whilst Brentford took all 3 points with a fine 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Team news for Southampton is Joe Aribo starts in midfield replacing Will Smallbone, and Maxwell Cornet is preferred to Ryan Manning at left wing back as TomFM continues with 3 at the back. Mckins unsurprisingly names an unchanged team and will once again be looking for Brian Mbeumo to shine following his 2 assists last week, and for Ayer and Pinnock to remain solid at the back but maintaining their aerial threat from set pieces, which resulted in a goal apiece for the pair last week. The throw on halfway for Brentford. Henry into Visser, square back to Pinnock. Pinnock, very, very patient, goes back to Henry. He's cutting inside Jensen. Up to Mbeumo, flicked inside to Visser. Very tidy play, but given away. Cornet wins the ball, but Pinnock wins it straight back. Neither side really getting a grip of that ball in midfield. Can Southampton build something here? Walker-Peters pass one, Aribo, square ball. Oh, it's a poor ball to Norgard, who's driving through the middle of the park. Finds Mbeumo tackled out of it. It's dropped to Damsgaard. Can he finish? Great strike by Damsgaard.
Into the bottom corner. Ramsdale can't get anywhere near it. It's Southampton 0, Brentford 1. Good start, good start.
That's a really poor goal to concede. I'm not a fan of that. I know we're 5 minutes in, but I'm already going to shout demand more from the team here. That was poor.
It's a throw to Southampton deep in the Brentford half. Walker-Peters lofts the ball in. It's a weak header from Norgard. Shot blocked from Brereton Diaz. Cornet recycles the ball, goes wide. He's got Walker-Peters. Can he put a ball in into Archer? Great save by Flecken. Out for a corner for Southampton. He charges forward. He's got Sade outside him. Can he find him? He can. Can Sade put the ball in? Mbeumo back post 2-0. Not even 12 minutes on the clock, and Southampton are facing a massive uphill struggle.
Really good start.
Woo! Henry, with a lot of room to go down the left-hand side. Can he find a ball in the middle? He can. Damsgaard's there. Referee's blowing his whistle. He's pointed to the spot. It's a penalty. People are looking puzzled. Southampton are wondering why. Bednarek is adjudged to have fouled Damsgaard. I'm not sure. It's going to VAR.
But he has given it, and I'm delighted clearly because we're 20 minutes in here and we have a chance to go 3-0 up in the match.
Come on, Aaron. Trusting you. Oh, he's actually made the save. He's redeemed himself for his first 2 goals he conceded, which were absolutely terrible.
Corner to Brentford, and Mbeumo flicks in. Flicked on. It's a goal!
Has gone in. Brentford 3, Southampton 0. We do make our dominance count again. That could have been 5. We've missed the penalty. We've missed a golden opportunity, but this time it's gone in.
The flick on is to 2 of my players, who just head it straight back towards Ayer.
Bednarek, back to Downs.
Which is a real shame.
Into Aribo, middle of the park. Great
Obviously,
run from
the
Brereton
chap-
Diaz. Brereton Diaz. Oh, he's hit the bar!
Oh, it's one of those games.
Generally, I can't be too disappointed with being 3-0 up away from home. Okay, set pieces are on our side again. A lovely cross. The Kevin Schade assist for that second goal was beautiful.
We've not played badly. We've just been really unlucky, I feel.
Corner Southampton. Manning swings it in. He's headed clear. Out to Lallana. Back to Cornet. Back to Lallana. Manning's in space. He's crossed it in. Archer. 3-1 Southampton. No. Flag is up. The flag is up.
Flagging. It's quite a close call. Ball's been put into the goal by Archer.
This really would just cap it all off, wouldn't it? If this... I'm waiting for it. It's going to happen. Oh.
There we go. It's 2 wins from 2. A 2-0 win against Muoono on the first day of the season. A 3-0 win against TomFM on the second day. I am delighted. 6 points from 6. No goals conceded. Happy days. Up the bees. Zzz.
Oh, dearie me. Not great. Not great.
So that was a very impressive start to the game by Brentford, much like in real life, scoring really, really early in this one, even getting 3 goals and missing a penalty inside that first 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was messy to say the least. Like, you know, we had the missed penalty. The second goal, I'll give credit for the second goal, was a nice, smooth, well-worked goal, but the rest of it was like watching Sunday League football for me. And I'm looking at Mckins and TomFM. This is Streamer Showdown winner, and we've got the assistant manager, shows why he was assistant manager maybe, at the FIFA World Cup. These are 2 managers who I would expect would do better with their players. And I know it's only Brentford and Southampton, and I know it still was a 3-0 victory for Brentford, but still, they both should be doing better here because the shooting from Southampton, poor. The build-up play was poor. The amount of ping-ponging going around, it was like watching Sunday League football. I was disappointed, to say the least.
And Steak, it was 3-0 to Brentford, but I think Tom and Southampton were a little bit unlucky here. Obviously, Pokes mentioned about their shooting not being the best.
Yeah, Southampton set up well by Tom, and you expect that from Tom. He's a fantastic manager, as proven with that FIFA E-World Cup appearance. But I must admit, it's not a shame to see him lose, is it really? As a Portsmouth fan, I can't help but be a little bit excited when Southampton lose. But to be fair, they've given themselves good credit. They just need to find the back of the net. That's the real issue here. They've missed so many chances in that game that you think they'll start to score eventually. You'd hope anyway, unless you're me, and then you don't hope that at all.
Second yellow card, Spurs side picked up an impressive win on the road last week, and today they take on one of the league's newcomers in Trequinho's Ipswich Town. D-Boy was our man on the ground today.
Well, here we are at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, seeing Spurs play host to Premier League new boys Ipswich Town. The home side fielding an unchanged starting 11 following on from last week's victory against Bournemouth on the road. Once again, a front three of James Maddison, Dejan Kulusevski and Heung-min Son hoping to cause problems for the Ipswich defence. Ipswich Town have changed formations and they're opting for a 4-3-3 after last week's defeat to Everton at home. Twanzebe makes his first start in the Premier League for the Tractor Boys at right back, as well as this summer's big signing from Chelsea, Omari Hutchinson, starting on the left wing.
Go there, boys. Great start, dribbled it out. Good lad, good lad.
Ogbean now with the ball on the wide. Oh, he's given the ball away to Bentancur carelessly there. He drives forward and it looks like he's needlessly been brought down by Twanzebe in the box.
We're bad enough as it is without not being able to complete 3-yard passes. This is painful.
Come on, Matters. 2 out of 2 on the year will be lovely. Oh, he's done it. Beautiful scenes. That's great. Just get a penalty in every single game. Profit. Lovely. I mean, defensively solid. Not get a lot of the ball, actually, comparatively speaking. I haven't created as much as we did against Bournemouth, but we seem to grow into that game, so I don't see why that wouldn't happen here. Son has been a lot quieter in this game, though, than he was in the last one, but that's fine.
You'd think after the opening game against Everton, Ipswich will probably need to get used to the Premier League rather quickly. The likes of O'Shea needing to prove their worth, already played in this division with West Brom and Burnley, both relegated those seasons, of course. Philip plays at home to Murich. Wide with that man now, O'Shea. He's
bad. Go on, Kulusevski. Finish it. Oh, no, that's dreadful, but it's also brilliant. That is so
This
unlucky.
is ridiculous.
I mean, what are they doing there? Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Second goal there. That should calm things down a bit.
Oh dear, Ipswich. You've got a lot of work to do this season.
That won't be on the match today, the first game, will it? Deary me.
So that is a professional performance, or what I would call a professional performance from second yellow card and Spurs there. But I think, again, it's little costly errors that are really costing Trequinho here, State.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just maybe Ipswich's quality of player just isn't really there to be playing the kind of football that Trek's trying to play. He's clearly a manager with tactical know-how. He's trying to play formations and ideas that are going to help him going forward if he can get it right. But when your defenders aren't particularly fast and not getting back and you're playing a high line, that doesn't help. And when your players can't pass out from the back very easily and you're still trying to pass out from the back, that is going to be a problem. They gave away the penalty. It was very, very silly from an inexperienced defender from the Premier League, and then trying to pass out from the back and getting tackled is an absolute disaster. You're basically handing your opponent all 3 points, aren't you there, really? I mean, you're right about saying it was a professional performance from Spurs, though. Very neat and tidy, not really many errors or conceding many chances to Ipswich, who didn't really create anything either. Only 3 shots in the entire game. So it's professional from Spurs, but you have to say Ipswich kind of stamped on their own feet with this one.
And Pokes, do you think people are going to start talking about Spurs and second yellow card after picking up 2 wins from 2 today?
Maybe. I'm not quite sure just yet, because I think that there is another gear that dearest beloved second yellow card could take Spurs to. Ultimately, you know, they're a top 6 side. They should be in contention of winning the Premier League if he plays them well enough. And he's ultimately only played against Ipswich and Bournemouth so far. Not showing anything too exciting yet, but I think if he can hit that new level with his squad, then we might see big things coming from him soon.
Very interesting that a Spurs fan thinks that Spurs should be winning the league. Very nice. I like it. Up next, we head to Old Trafford, where we will see table-topping Fulham and Jake Cooper take on Manchester United, who are managed by Breezy. This one was watched for us by The Gibbs Show.
Manchester United and Breezy opened their home campaign here against Fulham off the back of an impressive 2-0 win over Wolves. Goals from Amad Diallo and Rasmus Højlund getting in the 3 points. However, Jake Cooper's Fulham arrive at Old Trafford on the back of a 5-0 demolition of West Ham United, and centred by Joachim Andersen's impressive double. Can the London team get an impressive start with 6 points out of 6? Here we go, Fulham kick-off. Jorge Quincha into Sasa Lukic in midfield. Back to Andersen, the double goal scorer last weekend. What a game he had. Kenny Tete down the right flank, looking to advance. Cuts it inside of Sander Berg. Good advance. Oh, Højlund stole it. Casemiro on the counter-attack. Gives it away to Amad Diallo. He was so impressive last week in the win. Down the right flank. Can he find a cross? He finds Casemiro. He scores!
Ladies and gentlemen, Manchester United lead after just 40 seconds. Casemiro, of all people, gives us the lead. Oh, I mean, I tell you what, give us the league title now. I think, genuinely, we are unstoppable at the moment.
I was really getting my hopes up after last time when we won 5-0, but...
Throw into Manchester United down the right hand side. Mazraoui into Diallo. Mooono back to Diallo again. On his left foot. Will he have a shot? He does. And he scores! There's only 10 minutes gone.
I mean, I don't know what to do here. I don't think there's anything I can do to control this. He's just running in, shooting, scoring, and it's working perfectly for him so far. We've actually got quite a lot of cover in that area too, so I don't really know what I can do to fix this. It's from the wing again.
Corner kick. Well footed. Oh, it's blocked away by Fulham. Diallo again. He's been the danger man so far. Mooono to look shot with the left foot. It's Rashford. The flag is up here. We're going to go to VAR.
Easy, although the linesman does have his flag up, so is this going to be disallowed? It is goal disallowed. Okay, goal disallowed. We'll take it. Still 2-0. We can work with that at least. But again, he's had 2 shots to score 2 goals. Clearly, I'm doing something wrong.
Free kick to actually Bruno Fernandes. Oh, it's a post.
I'm just going to say, show me something else in the second half. No one's reacted to that at all. Brilliant. Clearly, my team talk's gone fantastic there.
Right, half-time, 2-0. We do have a slight issue. Matthias de Ligt has picked up a pulled back muscle, which means he is going to have to come off, which means... and I can't believe I'm about to do this, Harry Maguire's going to have to come on, ladies and gentlemen. He is my only centre-back on the bench.
Inside to Lukic. He has options. Reece Nelson, I've not seen him much today. Wide to Harry Wilson. A great pass to Lukic. He's got some space. Into Smith Rowe. It's Reece Nelson. He must score. He's missed it.
He's scoring that. He has got to be scoring. That is the easiest opportunity anyone's had all game, and we've missed it. But at least we've grown into the game a little bit there.
Who thankfully for us has put it wide. Oh my, I mean, not great defending from us. I don't know where Mazraoui was. I think he was in a different postcode.
Ryan Sessegnon, just under 9 minutes to go here. Is there a way back in this for Fulham? Sessegnon into Sander Berg. Finds Anders Pereira. Here's Lukic. Traore. Some lovely football here, Fulham. Smith Rowe's down the right. He's clear. He should. Oh, he's missed the target.
And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, Manchester United, 2 wins from 2. No goals conceded, 2 goals scored in each game. What more could you ask for? Come on, United.
Yeah, that's the end of it. 2-0. I mean, a decent effort. I'm not too annoyed at that. Just wish we'd been able to finish some of the chances that we had, because there was a lot of opportunities to get goals. We just never seemed to make it work.
So that was a fantastic start to the game for Breezy there, again picking up his 2nd win of the season. But this week he decided to start Amad Diallo after his goal last week, and Pokes, he definitely rewarded him almost instantly in this game.
It's so good to see when people in PvP take note of what's happened in the last game and are willing to change things up. I think too often in PvP, people stay with the same thing that they are trying to force a certain, starting 11 through, or force a certain tactic through. But Breezy here, yeah, Diallo and Mooono as well, changing them up, bringing them on for the game from the beginning this week, obviously served him really well. Now, on the other side of that, I see Jake brought on some subs in the second half who were completely ineffectual and just did nothing. Even though they had a few more chances in the second half and really sort of leaning into the game a bit more, those subs weren't as effective as we saw Diallo and Mooono were for Breezy the following week. So for Jake, I think it's back to the drawing board. What could he change up? What needs to be shifted for his next game to forget about this loss and move on and try and do something a bit better next week?
Yeah, and Steak, I was going to ask you something around that actually. Obviously, coming off the high of winning 5-0, being top of the table going into this game, obviously Jake was probably expecting to have a decent game. So to come out of this without really testing Onana is going to be pretty disappointing for him.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where you're coming up against a much stronger side in Manchester United, or although they're not necessarily the strong side in real life that we used to see back in the days of Fergie. On Football Manager, they're still pretty damn good. So coming up against them obviously resets your tactic a little bit. You're having to take a step back and try and analyse what a stronger team are doing against you. It's not quite worked for him this week. I'd like to see more going forward, but I expect Man U to keep doing the same kind of thing and surprising a few people perhaps.
Yeah, I definitely think Breezy's got a couple of tricks up his sleeve. And next we head to the City Ground, where we have our local tree expert Mooono streams and her Nottingham Forest side taking on the attributeless master in Mustermann and his Chelsea side. Commentating on this one for us is another Dutchie. We've got official Enrice.
Good day everyone, welcome to the City Ground in Nottingham, where we're gonna see Nottingham Forest facing Chelsea. And here we've got the lineup of Mooono streams Nottingham in a 3-3-2-1-1 configuration with only one centre back. And here we've got Mustermann's Chelsea lineup, and it's the exact same formation as Nottingham Forest in a 3-3-2-1-1 configuration.
I have faith, I believe, I think we got this. You are Mono Mourinho. Mono Mourinho. Mono Mourinho. Channel Mono Mourinho.
Welcome back. Game week 2. This time we're up against the glorious, wonderful Mooono streams. Will she be prepared for the mirror formation for all of about 5 minutes? And are we going to absolutely ruin it by conceding in those 5 minutes and being unable to chase back?
And... No! Did he make a tree tactic? How? How? How did he know?
And he's going for the short throw into Danilo. Milankovic. Sangare, beautiful ball to Moreno. Anderson, he shoots, and he scores!
That's 1-0 to Nottingham Forest.
I ask, they deliver.
1-0 after 17 minutes.
We scored. I think that is a good benchmark. If he goes under that 6.4,
Here we go. That's
I've had it with him. No, 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 no.
Never a penalty.
That's not a penalty. Give me pretty privilege. Don't you dare. Okay, I did not get pretty privilege there. Butterfingers. Catch it. Catch it. He did not catch it. That sucks. We were doing so well.
And they're doing very well. Ward-Prowse, beautiful ball to Moreno. Anderson in acres of space. Anderson in the half space. He's going to cut back to Awani. Awani!
Jawel! Monomo op je feestje. Monomo met 2 goals op je feestje. It's a song by Noah Lang. If we do that, that's fine, yeah? If we do tackles, if we hurt people, we should get away with that. They should not. Gibbs.
Awani makes it 3-1. Was he offside though? It looked like he might have been ahead of play. That could be a shame if it is.
We're winning. Is it no? Wait, I was just going to say it's a party.
And it has been disallowed.
And it will be an offside for Morgan Gibbs White.
And there we go. It's full time. Nottingham Forest 2, Chelsea 1.
We won.
With those interesting formations and themes going into this tactic season, but she has picked up an amazing result here, actually, beating Chelsea, hasn't she, Steve?
Yeah, unbelievable result, and whatever Monique is doing, she needs to keep doing it, because she's performing on the field, her team are doing well, she's picking up points against teams that, let's face it, you wouldn't have expected on paper before the game, Nottingham Forest, to play Chelsea and come away with all 3 points. And let's be honest, they deserved it as well. They played really, really well. Completely deserved it. Unfortunate to give away the goal that they did from the penalty spot, but ultimately really good 3 points from Monique, and you can see how happy she is.
Yeah, 100%. And Pokes, obviously, bringing a little bit of energy, a little bit of fancy dress, couple of props to this. Is that the kind of vibes you like to see in a manager in a competition like this?
Of course we do. Of course we know that's what we want. Particularly, you know, if you beat Chelsea as Nottingham Forest, too right, you wear whatever glasses you want to wear, and you want to get the party tutor. Is that what you call it?
What?
I've no idea, but whatever that thing was, very good. Keep up more of that, please. Thank you.
So we move down to London now, as ZimsMulaa and Crystal Palace will look to bounce back after last week's derby loss to Brighton. Their opposition today was Aston Villa and Maggio. Watching this one was actually our man in the studio, Steak Bake.
Crystal Palace fell to a tight defeat in their opening game against rivals Brighton in Week 1, and manager Zims has made one change from that side, with Adam Wharton coming in to replace Jefferson Llama, who drops to the bench. Aston Villa manager Maggio has made 2 personnel changes after his side were frustrated to a 1-1 draw at home to new boys Leicester City. Pau Torres replaces Ezri Konsa in defence, whilst Leon Bailey drops out to allow Yuri Tielemans to play a holding midfield role, and Ross Barkley can be pushed further forward. From Crystal Palace, here's Mark Guay, tries to find the ball down the line, and he's given the ball away to Digne, and Digne can counter-attack for Aston Villa here. McGinn into the penalty area, good interception from Mark Guay, but it's not a good clearance. McGinn knocks it down, Ross Barkley, oh, what a goal that is! Unbelievable finish from Ross Barkley. He scored some fantastic goals down the years in the Premier League, but that might be one of his best.
When I was a young boy, my father said to me, listen here, son, you see PFC. Here we are, you know us by the noise.
Into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Throw into Crystal Palace. Munoz puts the ball into the penalty area. It's a good ball. It's not really cleared from Mings and Tyreek Mitchell.
Oh, and the chart comes in handy. Come on, boys. When I was a young boy, my father said to me, listen here, son, you see PFC.
How have we conceded there?
Not a bad result, lads. Lock it in. Lock it in, man. Listen, we take those, man. It's not good enough, though, boys. I'll be honest with you.
Second half has been fairly quiet here, but Aston Villa have a throw-in in the final third with Matty Cash into Emi Buendia. Cash again. Tries to play the ball low. Buendia shoots, deflected off of Guay. It's not really cleared. Back out to Cash on the right-hand side. No one's closing it down. Matty Cash shoots across the goalkeeper and into the bottom corner.
Across the goal. Across Henderson. Come on.
When I was a young boy, my father said to me, listen here, son, the CPFC.
The final whistle blows. Aston Villa take all 3 points at Selhurst Park. And although chances were few and far between, Villa ran out just about deserved winners. Zims' Crystal Palace 1, Maggio's Aston Villa 2.
We've held on for the win. Boys, well done. Result. That's it. You beat the Crystal Palace. They can go back to their stupid building. Up the Villa.
I mean, if I could, I would say I'm happy with performance, but I'm absolutely not happy, man. I think we're going to have to get back to the drawing board. We're going to have to be looking at some tactical changes. ZimsMulaa, I'm going to have to get back to the drawing board, honestly.
Maggio's Aston Villa stay unbeaten after their first 2 games of the season, now with 1 win and 1 draw so far. But Pokes, this will probably be back to the drawing board for Zims after back-to-back defeats to open his campaign.
Yeah, it's not an ideal start for Zims at the beginning of the season, but there's still a lot of football to play, so he shouldn't be too worried. Just make the necessary tweaks, try something else a little bit different next time out and see how he goes. However, I think Sai also has to have a little bit of a think, because that game wasn't very inspiring at all. You know, really the only standout player was Barkley with a 7.5 rating, and that was only really because he had a beautiful goal. But the rest of the players on both sides weren't looking impressive, and so actually I think both players here need to have a little bit of a rethink as to see how they can bring some fireworks for the next match.
And Steak, obviously you watched this one from the commentary perspective. What did you think happened here? What's your takeaway?
Yeah, I got the impression that this was one of those games where either team could have really edged it, but neither really wanted to go for it. It's not really what you expect from an Aston Villa side, who obviously in real life are doing fabulously with their Champions League run, things like that. On here, they've not looked as convincing, and Crystal Palace certainly matched them, but neither team really took the game by the scruff of the neck. I definitely want to see more from both sides going forward, that's for sure.
Now we have the battle of the bold early morning streamers, as Tickers Newcastle United will take on MurphFM's Brighton and Hove Albion. This one was taken in by Godly Fabio.
Welcome everyone to another game on the second week of the match of the day. Today we have the shiniest derby, the cleanest derby, the derby of the twins, the most beautiful derby, the plungiest derby. We got Brighton's Murph and Newcastle's Ticker. Well, this is gonna be a banger, boys. Brighton plays the exact same way. Newcastle also plays the exact same way. What can he do? He cuts it short to Mitoma. The Japanese wizard gives it to March. March gets in to shoot! Poop! In the middle to March. Can Brighton make the difference here? March goes to the line. Just squeeze Ferguson! again! The shiny Murph is ahead! Newcastle, can they come in back in the game? Trippier to the cross. Igor clear it. Shar with the ball. Gives it to Gordon. Gordon shoots! Oh, bits the post! Mitoma. Estupinha. Mitoma. Watford.
Have a go.
Golasso! No shot. Is this offside?
Yeah, I'm sure the goalkeeper couldn't see.
Nah, he wants to watch it on the monitor. It's a really good
Flag
goal.
up, flag up. Disallow that, ref. Good lad, good decision.
Oh!
Outstanding decision from the linesman.
Trippier. Crosses in. Ball, it's in!
Scattered there, the man. I don't know where my badge is. There it is.
Newcastle keeps the pressure in Livramento to Joe Hilton. Joe Hilton gives it to Barnes.
Referee, yes.
There's a pen. The ref goes to the VAR. It's given!
Come on.
Kebab.
Yes! Hiya kebab. Me and penalties don't get on. Isaac.
Come on, boss. Oh, he's close.
Come
close.
Shiny head 2. Not so shiny 1.
So that's a tough beat for Murph and Brighton there, but you really cannot be clearing out people in the penalty area like that, can you, Steak?
No, not at all, and Lamptey has really lamped Harvey Barnes there. Really poor tackle, got absolutely nowhere near the ball followed on in the direction it was going with both players missing it completely, but you can't just lump through a play like that. Deserved penalty, very silly from Brighton today, and that unfortunately was their downfall. 2 mistakes, one from the corner and one from the penalty. You can't be doing that, and that's how you lose games, even when you should perhaps be a more competitive side.
Yeah, and also, Pokes, my question to you is obviously around the corner, scored by Dan Burn. A big man was allowed a lot of space at that near post.
Yeah, apparently Dan Burn's quite tall, so really you want to be marking him, don't you? So it's really poor defending from Brighton, and quite rightly, Dan Burn jumps on the opportunity and gets the header at the near post. And yeah, it's to Brighton's. They need to learn. They need to learn from this mistake, don't they?
Yeah, which is such a shame for Murph, isn't it? Oh, what a shame. And also, Steak, the interesting one in this as well is Brighton were 1-0 up. They had a goal ruled out on the 15th minute, which was a lovely strike for a little bit of obstruction on the goalkeeper, a bit of offside. That really could have changed the game, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's one of those highlights that you see on Football Manager this year where you can't really see what the referee is seeing, unfortunately. The obstruction on the goalkeeper, is he in the way of the shot? It's such a nice finish. It's such a shame to rule out such a good goal. Unfortunately, that's what happens in PvP and on Football Manager in general this year. You get those goals ruled out sometimes, which is such a shame. So I'm sure Brighton will feel really hard done by, but Newcastle pick up some really important 3 points there.
And last, but by no means least, we have Josh Daly's Everton taking on Big Robbo and Wolves. Now, I have to say, despite this one being last in the running order, you're not going to want to miss this one.
Josh Daly makes only one change to the starting lineup that beat Trequinho's Ipswich in game week 1, with Calvert-Lewin making way for Beto. All eyes will be on Jesper Lindström after his impressive hat-trick in that 4-1 win. On the contrary, Big Robbo has made sweeping changes following an uninspiring showing against Breezy's Manchester United in his opening game, switching to a 4-2-2. Totti comes in to replace Mosquera in the back four, Sarabia moves from the centre to wide on the left, and Guedes starts in favour of Bellegarde on the right of midfield.
The Wolves are back in a new formation, a 4-4-2 defensive winger inspired by my goal, Omega Luke.
So, game week 2 against Robbo, probably the easiest 3 points I'm going to get, because this guy is diabolical, and I mean absolutely diabolical. To be honest with you, I'm probably expecting maybe 6 or 7. I don't even know if he's touched FM before, to be honest with you, but he's also late to the game. I think it's mind games from him. Pretty petty, but it's all good. It's what Robbo likes to do.
And with the throw-in for Everton then, into Lindström, the hat-trick hero from last week's match. Patterson whips the cross in, aiming for Beto, but he's bundled over by Totti. The referee says nothing's doing there. The ball is out to Harrison, who drives it into Beto. Second chance this time. It goes in past Sarr.
Have some of that, mate, because I said I was going to win. You said my tactics are awful. What's going on, mate? You're 1-0 down in 6 minutes. You're getting put to bed. I don't even know what to say. And I'll tell you what, mate. I won't be going to bed in a second because you're wasting my time.
I'm never going to win a game. I'm never going to win a game.
5 minutes to go until half-time then. Wolves with a chance with Strand Larsen. And puts a cross in. Tarkovsky clears. Patterson looks like he clattered down Mateus Cunha.
See, apparently, it's not a penalty. We know what someone like Robbo does, paying the referees every single time. It's not a penalty in my eyes, but it is going to be given, I would assume. It has been awarded. I don't agree personally.
Pablo Sarabia is going to be on the pen. Come on, Pablo Sarabia to make it 1-1 for the Wolverhampton. He's Spanish. Spanish do not miss pens.
It's got to be a save from Pickford. Have some of that, Robbo. It's a great save from Pickford. He's going to be crying. I can sense the tears coming down.
I am not going to score a goal in this series. I am not going to score a single goal. Get him off. Get him off. Get him off the pitch. There's not a chance you perform a penalty like that in a pressured environment like this. And you go down the middle. Just go to the corners.
Looking to go direct, I would have thought, from this sort of distance. And he steps up. He's hit the post from that far out. Keane being included in the build-up play. Harrison, can he drive it across goal? No, he's gone all the way back to Keane. Found himself in an unfamiliar position on the left-hand side of the midfield. Decore drives into the box. He's hit the bar. Oh, my word.
It's a very good game. So fair play to Robbo, but you're just not good enough. Simple as that. And Steve, if you're watching, can you get me some competition, please?
I mean, again, goal scoring is just a problem with this team. We literally get a spot kick from 12 yards. We haven't scored a goal all series, and the guy chooses to go down the middle like he's got some composure, Bob Trait plus. Just pick a corner.
So, Steak, this wasn't a classic here, but it's a clean sheet for Jordan Pickford with a penalty save and another win for Everton and Josh Daly.
Yeah, probably the easiest penalty save Pickford's ever going to make. Sarabia, what on earth was he doing going for the Panenka penalty down the middle? Absolutely wasting that chance, and you can see how much it means to the manager, who is absolutely gutted. But yeah, Pickford, man of the match. Interesting to see a goalkeeper get it. You only really see it when they make a penalty save on Football Manager these days. Although we did have one earlier in the show who did get it. But yeah, really good performance, clean sheet for Everton, and really disappointing from Wolves, unfortunately.
And Pokes, there's a really interesting tactic that Daly's using here, and it's not necessarily with the 11 that he's putting out. He's picked up the most yellow cards in this series so far. He's got 11 in 2 games, I believe it is. Because this is being played in versus mode and these yellows don't carry over, do you think this is a pretty good tactic to kind of be a bit rough and a bit physical against your opposition?
Well, it'd be fantastic to hear what people think about this in the comments, because I think there'll be a real debate around whether this is the right thing to do, because that's just an opportunity in the style of game that we're playing. The fact that it's in versus mode, so it's an opportunity there for managers to be able to kind of play hard, you know, going in hard on tackles and maybe sacrificing the odd yellow card here or there, because you know it's not going to be rolling on. But I'm sure there's going to be bound to be other people on the other side of the spectrum that would say, no, that's not realistic, and how should you play the game? So whether Josh is purposely leaning into this tactic or not, but also whether the other managers, if they see this sort of tactic happening, whether they will start to lean into this. It'll be really fascinating to see in the coming weeks what's going to start happening when it comes to the discipline of these players across the league.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. Just slap tackle harder, get stuck in on everybody, and just hope that you don't get somebody sent off, which we actually haven't had yet, which is quite a surprise.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Are they gonna lean into that, or is the debate going to carry on saying no, keep it realistic? I think probably there'll be a real mixture of managers who try different things. However, I don't think you can control it hugely, so I'll be surprised if we get tons of yellow cards across the board. Maybe it's just Josh has just got a really physical squad here and he's leaning into it.
Personally, I absolutely love it going through the back of a few players in any game mode. I do it on Football Manager all the time. Get stuck in is on every single time, so I am all for it.
Brutal.
So now that we have all of our games played for game week number 2, let's take a look at how the tables are looking. We have a couple of movers at the top of the league as Omega Luke moves into that top spot on goal difference. Jake Cooper's Fulham are the biggest fallers after his 2-0 loss to Breezy's Manchester United today, giving up that top spot. At the other end of the table, TonyJameson and Manchester City move out of the relegation zone, but it's not looking good, bruv, for Kempi at the bottom of the table with 8 goals conceded and no goals scored. And if you are still watching the video at this point, I will leave a £10 gift card code for Fanatical somewhere in here. I'll leave that up to my editor. I'm sure he'll find a nice place to hide it. And gents, that is game 2 done and dusted. I just want to say thank you so much for you being here. Please let the viewers know where they can find you on all of your platforms. Steak, will go to you first.
Yeah, follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/the_steak_bake and at the steak bake on every other platform. And I'm also part of the Football Manager Therapy podcast, so check out them at FMT Pod on Twitter, and then you can find the link tree with all of their details down below.
And over to you, Pokes.
You can find me on Twitch and on Twitter and other places as well, all as PokesFM. So come and say hello.
Couldn't agree more. Go and say hello to these guys. They've been fantastic today. And if you are new around here and you're enjoying the content, hit subscribe to the channel because we've got game week 3 action coming up next week, and there are going to be some more interesting fixtures in this one.